Everybody, and welcome to another disused railway walk, and today I'm doing another section of the former Great Central Railway, and it's been out of action for a very good number of decades. And where am I? I'm in Arkwright. Old Arkwright Town was over there, and new Arkwright Town is a little way over there. And you may have seen in a previous video that we actually explored the entire area of where that town once was. We've got the former crossing down there of where the Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway once went across. Chesterfield that way and Lincoln that way. And our line went straight off shooting towards the south down there. But we can't go that way because it's been built on. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off here at Arkwright Town. We'll bypass the new town and where all the colliery was over there. That closed incidentally in 1988, and the workings of the coal traffic ceased shortly after once stocks had gone. We're going to head off towards Staveley. We're going to go through Rediscovering, and then we'll finally end up at the Rother Valley Country Park, where we'll finish off today's disused railway explore. Hopefully we'll find some really nice stuff, bridges, remains of stations maybe, who knows. Just join me and we'll discover it together. So we begin in a semi-deep cutting, and we're coming up to the A632 Chesterfield Road. That bridge is still present, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. So that's where we began, around that curve where the Lancashire, Derbyshire, East Coast Railway was. But this is our view going forward. You see a nice brick bridge in the distance, Old Arkwright Town on the right, and if you was to go on the other side, the A632, that'd be new Arkwright Town. So a quick look at maps to see where we are today. So this is Arkwright, and that's new Arkwright Town right in the centre. We explored Old Arkwright Town in the previous video. You can see the Lancashire, Derbyshire, East Coast Railway going from left to right, but our route today is the Great Central, heading from south to north, and we're going to go past Duckmanton junctions, and we're going to follow it all the way up as far as Staveley, and just look at the railway lines that used to be in Staveley. We're going to go as far as Staveley Central Station, right about here. There's nothing left of that, but just look at all that lot. I'd love to be able to explore a lot of that. So the A632 Chesterfield Road is up there. Look, it's still got the column going across with either water or gas probably going across there. Chesterfield in that direction and Bolsover in that direction up there. Now as I come out the other side of Chesterfield Road, the A632, the track bed shoots straight down towards Staveley, a few miles down there. But what it also did was went up on an incline just there to cross over our main line and head on over. I'm hoping there's still some remains of this bridge. I don't believe the top is there, but I believe the side wall abutments are. And it goes very wide down here when I've been looking at maps. This is quite exciting. I'm hoping we'll find something pretty good. I've stood now right next to where our incline curve coming from Duckmanton South Junction, which was down there, Chesterfield Road A632, crept up all the way along there, and there we go. We've got a bridge, abutment wall just there, look, and where the bridge went straight across and over to the other side, look, let's get you over there. And that took it up to Duckmanton East Junction and joined on to the Lancashire Derbyshire East Coast Railway around the other side, around the other side of Old Arkwright Town. We carry on that way, we're going to end up at Duckmanton North Junction. So we've got south, north and east, there's no west. So there's absolutely no way I'm getting up on top of that. It's just trees and prickly things. It looks pretty much the same on the eastern side as well, but what you can do is walk around it. And around there is where the other line joined on further down at the North Junction, and also crept around and joined on at Duckmanton East Junction. And on the eastern side of this large bridge which expands across the former Great Central Main Line, we've got the foundations of another wall up which would have held this bridge up. It's got some wording on the brick, Hardwick it says on there, look. So they're all pretty much the same. Let's have a wander down here and see if anything interesting remains. So the track bed we've just been looking at is over there, and the bridge is over there. We're following a track down the side of the embankment, and over there you can see a line of trees, and what that was the other line I previously mentioned, Duckmanton North Junction, a little way over there, and it would have joined onto the East Junction a little way down there. And look, more evidence. There's the old railway up there, look, and there is a blue brick wall coming across. That looks like it's supposedly a public footpath, it looks like, but it looks a bit messy through there, so I don't think I'll bother doing that. Comes around here, look, the other line heading off towards Chesterfield Road is there. I know it sounds a bit confusing, so I'm between both tracks right now, both railways. And what I'm assuming must have happened was this one came across just there where the blue brick is and joined on just about here, because we're pretty much on top of where Duckmanton East Junction was, and that loops around and joined on to the Lancashire Derbyshire East Coast Railway on the other side of Arkwright Town. Right, it's time to push on back on our Great Central Main Line heading north. So we've just been to Duckmanton East Junction down there. The South Junction is about half a mile up there, and we've just come past the former bridge that crossed over towards the East Junction, and this way we've got the former North Junction, and we've even coming across a former railway overbridge just here, look. Now quite possibly the original foundations, but clearly not the same fencing along the side. If I look down over the other side, you can see the wall and abutments just there, so that must be that footpath we saw earlier over there where the East Junction is, and it comes through and under. Let's have a look on the other side. A little bit of wind at the moment, unfortunately, and that's the view again, looking down as if I was looking over towards Chesterfield. So they look like some old sections to a plate layers hut or something railway related, isn't it? It's some kind of concrete foundation, maybe to do with signalling or points. There's a little bit more over here, look. What would these have been? Again, some kind of foundation, look, set in place. Some sort of cable maybe going around just there, was there? Those two wooden posts were there a long time with the bolts going through them, and another piece just here, look. What would that been for on the other side? It used to be painted white just there, look. What was this? Does anybody know? It's right opposite. See, this is where Duckmanton North Junction was, and that curved around just there, going in that direction. So there's a cord going around towards the East Junction, right where this was. So I'm going to say this is something to do with signalling and the junction that was just there. So that's pretty cool that we've just found that. Some kind of wall through there, look, as well. Can't really get anywhere near it, but it tapers in just there, look. Curves up and then does a 90-degree, goes over there and then does another 90-degree and comes down. Again, you can just see it from another angle just there, look. Whatever that would have been for, maybe something to do with storage of equipment. But come back and pan over here, there's some more odds and sods on the floor, look. And our track bed is just over here. Quite a descent as well, or an incline going that way, but the way we're going on a slowly downward gradient. There's a little interesting little nugget, isn't it? This blue brick wall with it's got its concrete capping on the top of it, look. Goes a little higher and wider just here, and then narrows off just here, look, and then stops just there. Duckmanton North Junction is up that way, so that's how far. It's only a little bit up there, and on the opposite side, look, exactly the same. Narrow and then widens, but doesn't go higher on this side. There's no evidence of a bridge, but there's only two sections to this side, whereas that side there are three. Anyone know what it is? Duckmanton North Junction is about 100 metres back up that way. So coming up to Inkersall, and then we'll be arriving at Poolsbrook Park, which of course was the home to a number of collieries, including Speedwell and Island Colliery, and then it's on to Staveley, where Staveley also used to have a station, and also it used to be part of the Stanton and Staveley Ironworks. We've talked about Stanton Ironworks a few times over the last couple of years, and we've visited the site a few times as well. Maybe we'll get to look at the Staveley site at a later date, see if there's anything around. So pushing on, track bed's quite wide, it's got a nice hard surface. There's a section down there, it looks like the locals have turned into like a little community garden. These benches and bird tables all the way along. There's one here, look, hanging in the trees, plenty of sparrows having a munch on there. So I'm going to keep going forward, and I'll show you anything as and when I find it. You can also tell we're coming up to communities and built up areas as well, because looking down the track bed there are many people out walking, cycling, or out with the dogs. Okay, ballast. We've got some ballast on the ground, quite a bit of it, look. Doesn't even look that old, does it? I mean, it's been out of use since around about 1989, I believe, this part of the railway, so it's not exactly a lifetime ago, is it? And we're still at Inkersall. That's what's around us just here. Incidentally, we're now officially on the Trans-Pennine Trail as well, heading north. Looks like the rain might come in at some point as well, so that will curtail the journey at some point, and we may have to pick it up another time, but I'll get as far as I can before it does come down, because the forecast is for heavy rain. I had that this morning as well, and I just timed it just right. As I got to Arkwright, the rain stopped. So we've got ourselves another bridge, and down below is Inkersall Green Road. Clearly it serves, it's quite a big community by the looks of it, isn't it? On the other side, we've got a slightly damaged brick abutment just there. And there's the view looking down towards Inkersall Green Road as it leaves the village and heads off towards Bolsover. Track bed is now, as you can tell, obviously because of the bridge, on an embankment as opposed to the cutting as it was at the very beginning. I think it's going to stay like that for quite some time, as there might be another bridge or two coming up further down. Old piece of coping stone here, look. Probably placed there as a bit of a reminder. You can see where it's sat on some kind of brick there to support it. So where that was moved from, I'm unsure. And another one here, like 100 or so metres down from the first one. clearly showing the bricks this time on the foundations. It probably was taken from a bridge somewhere on the route and just left there as a kind of like a monument, you know, some kind of reminder of what really was this former path that we're walking on now, and that was the Great Central Railway. Oh, there's something, look, some kind of support, or well, we've got a coping stone there, look, and a wall. It's very much like the other one we saw at the Arkwright end, isn't it? It tapers in just there, look, sticks out. Some kind of bridge maybe. I expect there probably was. There was something up there, crept across and went over there, because it's exactly the same on the other side. So if we left the track bed, that would be Poolsbrook Park down there, and the site of many, many former coal mines and collieries, and also the railway line which went off towards Seymour Junction, Oxcroft Colliery, Creswell, and the other direction off towards the former Bolsover coal light. And the former mining land is absolutely adorned by units that just pop up and live off the land that was once a completely different history. Also, you'd have noticed we just crossed over a bridge, and that is Inkersall Road that passes below there, and it had the nice corrugated steel fencing on the side with some kind of meshing over there for protection for dogs or other wildlife, or even your children. But nice to see it nevertheless. Evidence of a former bridge here, look, or is it just a retaining wall? It's hard to tell because I can't see any evidence of anything on that side. Look at the way the trees come out just there. No, maybe, I don't think it probably was a bridge. Maybe it was just some sort of retaining wall. It's hard to tell. Maps might give us a better answer. We are going to go under a bridge just here. This is Stevenson Road. Very, very short, just a bit of an interconnecting road towards the industrial estate and Poolsbrook Park down there. And earlier on, I did pass over Cemetery Lane. That was just a little way down there, but there's a load of kids sat on there, so I couldn't film that, unfortunately. Wasn't much to see, but there was a bit of green steel between where the two rail tracks would have been and on either side. Here's this bridge, look. This is Stevenson Road. Not in bad condition really. Just as they usually are, isn't it, when they've been left like this for some time. So yeah, another nice little bridge, and we're now not far from Staveley. And now as we approach Staveley, we're pretty much at the end of this section of the disused railway line. Now, something to finish on as we approach Staveley itself was Staveley Central Town Station. It consisted of 4 platforms, and the old station is now Island Way, a road as quite often is. There seems to be a few like that around Chesterfield and South Yorkshire, and it closed completely in 1964 to freight traffic, passenger traffic. I don't believe there's any remains of it at all. And that is the location of our former Staveley Central Station. Down there on 4 platforms. Absolutely remarkable that it's just all gone. We came from over there, so beyond the traffic lights and the track bed went in a straight line. The road curves around to the left just there. So that is about it. I'll be back in this area very, very soon to continue this journey off towards the Rother Valley Country Park. We've got to do the line to Clown and Creswell. I've never done that one before, and I'd still like to follow the line again, which I did in 2019, off towards the former Bolsover coal light site. Never had a drone then when I did that, so it'd be interesting to see it from a different perspective. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this couple of videos based around Arkwright and the 2 towns. Thank you very much. Bye bye.